What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Hopefully everything is looking and sounding good here. As usual, I'm just going to check and make sure. What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Awesome. I think we are good. How is everybody doing? Let's see who we got here today. Clone Bricks was here earlier. FaZe Nuber, what's up, man? Scott Davis is here. Uh-oh, Tuscan is here. Tuscan is here. Who else we got? Andrew Brick, what's up, my man? Genox, hey, how's it going, dude? And 501st Lieutenant, what's up, man? Thank you guys all for joining today. Hopefully you guys don't mind a little bit of a Sunday stream. I was a little busy yesterday, so wasn't able to stream yesterday, but thought I would try for today. Let's see, I guess I've got some droids in the frame right here. Might have to change that to some clone troopers. All right. Let's see how we are doing. Got a few more guys coming in here. Goodness, Interdeath, what's up, man? Alteration Animations, hello, my friend. Northcott111, what's up, dude? Hope everybody had a great week. Let me think. Nothing really major, I guess, happening in Star Wars Newsland, or Lego Star Wars Newsland. We've got Bad Batch, of course, which we'll get into that later, but hopefully everybody had a great week. Regardless, hopefully you're able to either build some things, hang out with family, watch some cool YouTube videos, all sorts of stuff like that. But all right, and we're at a different time, so we might be able to get a few people in here who aren't normally able to due to time zone difference, so that'd be cool. But essentially, no video this weekend. I'm preparing to leave for a vacation. And I'll be gone for about a week, so I'm kind of having to prepare for that. I'm going to be gone for a week, and then we get back on like a Saturday. So essentially that means I have to have 2 videos prepared, so that's what I've been preparing for, is 2 videos. So while I'm gone, I think we're going to have Muunilinst mock update, and then another Lego look back episode, which is the going to be focused on the AAT from 2009. So those are the 2 videos I'm working on right now, so I can get those out while I'm on vacation. So yeah, let's see what we got here. No, I won't be going to Brick Fair. It's a little too far away from me, and I usually have family vacation around this time of year. But also, Brick Fair is a little farther away from me compared to Chicago. So Brick World Chicago is usually a little easier for me to get to, but it's on my bucket list is to someday go to Brick Fair, Virginia. That's on my bucket list someday. All right. Yeah, episodes have been meh. Yeah, you're right about that. Right about that. All right. Before we get into things, let's go ahead and set some guys up here. Droids are fun to look at, but I think most people like to just look at. I think clones are a lot more entertaining to look at. So we'll go ahead and set some guys up here. General Kenobi shall be up here somewhere. Also, the last Muunilinst Mog update video that I posted last week has been doing extremely well compared to just kind of compared to the other Muunilinst Mog updates. This one has been doing really, really well. So that's awesome, and thank you guys for watching that one. I also have a feeling it has something to do with the thumbnail because I was able to put the Clone Army Customs Tiger Shark in the thumbnail, which probably got a lot of people who aren't subscribed to click over and watch. But nonetheless, it was awesome to have. Awesome. Let's get some clones. That's a frame. Cool. This Lieutenant. All right. And then I do have some stuff that I want to work on today. You can see I've started to outline another building all the way back here. So this is all the way in the back of the mock. I'm going to go ahead and start to work on that building. Essentially what I've done, and you'll see this on next week's Muunilinst mock update, is I've outlined where I want all the remaining buildings to go. So right now I've got 3 main buildings, one fairly kind of large building, and then a medium-sized building, and then this one back here, which is kind of just going to be a small building that's going to kind of just be like a little tower. Because I was looking through more screenshots from the 03 Clone Wars, and there seems to be a lot of, like I've got a lot of the buildings so far with pillars. All the buildings I've made so far have these pillars in them, like these. But I did notice there was a lot of buildings that are more tower structure, so they're more of a tower and they don't have these pillars. So I want to make sure to include some sort of like tower that you see and stuff like that. One other thing I guess I'll grab, and I'll talk about this in the update video as well, but let me grab it. Yeah, it's back here. So if you guys have been tuning into, oh, hold on a second, we got some new boys in here. Hey Brad Bricks, what's up, man? How's it going? Playing the Old Republic on PC, nice, dude. I have those cinematics from the Old Republic are some of the coolest Star Wars content out there. In my opinion, I think they're some of the best Star Wars content. Is those little Old Republic short films that they animations that they put out. They're so awesome. I love them so much. To victory or death, for the Republic. They just jump off the side of the hill and they start fighting all the Sith. It's always so cool. But essentially, if you've been tuning into the past couple live streams, I've been kind of trying to determine what else to include in the mock because I don't have enough room to do like the gunship crash or the giant main tower. Like I don't have room to do both of those. So there's the gunship crash, is that giant tower with the cannon on it that the ARC troopers assault. I don't have room to do both of those. So I was kind of trying to determine how everything was going to fit in. So I started off kind of trying to figure out if I could do the big giant tower with the cannon on it. So I built a mini scaled version. This is kind of generally what the shape would look like, and it has kind of all these red windows along the side. Obviously it'd be massive, but this is just a micro scale version that I built. And then I kind of got the pieces that I used to make this one and started to make it on a little bit of a larger scale and realized that to include it in this particular mock as the way it is right now, if I wanted to include this giant building with the cannon from the show, it would have to be massive just because the buildings I've made already are pretty big. So the tower itself would have to be massive. And what I realized was, since I would be using a lot of slopes, kind of building up the slope, is it got to a point where it was just going to be like, it was going to reach way too far into the mock. And it was going to kind of just take over the mock and kind of block a lot of the buildings. So I quickly realized that I probably won't be able to do that tower just because of how big the tower is. I don't really have enough room to do it. So now I'm kind of considering the idea of doing the crashed gunship instead in the mock. Obviously it's going to be a very small gunship crash because there isn't a ton of room left on the build. And I've talked in the past about if the gunship crash probably is just going to be parts of the gunship crashed instead of like the full gunship crash, because I don't want the Lego version obviously is too big. I don't really want to buy a custom version and build it. I like everything in the mock that I make to be something that I've designed. So I won't be doing a custom gunship. So I think I'm just going to build small parts of the gunship and kind of put them in the crash zone. I've already started on a couple things. Like I've got the door, I've kind of got the cockpit with the turrets and like the lime green section. So I'm going to kind of build small parts of it, and I'll build the wings and kind of have them crashed all over the place. So that way I can include the crashed gunship at least. So that's the plan, and you guys will see that in the update video next week. I'll start to work on that. So that's the couple house cleaning things we got going on. I'm not as good at keyboard than controller. I tried to play the Old Republic game. No, I tried to play the Knights and the Old Republic. I tried to play both of those, but those style of games just aren't really my favorite, if that makes sense. Like the MMO kind of, that style is not really my favorite. So I didn't really get very far into the games, but again, I love the lore and everything around them, and I know the player bases are still quite massive around those games too. Hey, Southern Creator, what's up, my man? How's it going? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you are doing well. Happy we could Happy to have you here on this Sunday afternoon. Awesome to see you, my friend. I was just discussing kind of the remaining plan for Muunilinst, because I've kind of got that planned out. So for this live stream, I'll probably start to work on this back building. Pieces have started to run low, resources have been running low, and I keep meaning to make a bricklink order to get more stuff, but I keep, of course, getting distracted and lots of other things coming up. But I'm going to get my phone out because I've got a screenshot there of what I want to build. I'm going to pull up the screenshot here. There's a couple of different screenshots. I'm not sure what to do quite yet. This is probably going to be a bad quality, the phone capabilities on the webcam. You can kind of see that building all the way in the back with that door, and you can see the stairs. So there's stairs, where is it? Right here, and then there's like the door and the building back there. So I thought about trying to do that design back there, that kind of green building with the arched doorway back there. I've thought about doing that one. And then let's see if I can find another picture of like one of these kind of towers. Here we go. You see all those like towers in the background? Like there are all these different towers all the way in the back, like back over there and stuff. Kind of all back in this section. There's a whole bunch of those kind of towers. So I've thought about doing some of those as well, because those seem fairly straightforward and I can get them very tall, which will give them that Muunilinst kind of feel, like that height. The only problem with those towers is they're kind of, I don't know what the right word is plain. Maybe that's kind of the right word. The buildings are kind of plain. Just because they're not as detailed with that 2D animation, and they're just kind of these flat, tall buildings. So my worry with doing those is that it'll kind of flush out the rest of these highly detailed buildings, as if I have a building that's not as detailed. But it's going to be in the back of the mock. It might be covered by some other buildings. You'll just see kind of the top of it if I build it really tall. So I'm going to mess around with a few different designs and see what I can come up with, because I'm just not entirely sure what to go with yet, which is okay, because that's where I find myself most of the time. And then I just kind of build through it and work my way through it. So let's go ahead and actually I want to show you guys this real quick. Hopefully I don't drop everything. I've got part of the gunship crash like set up with figures for the video. And we lost a couple men. Guess I'll bring them over here. For now, boys. Let's see, can you see this guy? Yeah. Bring him over here. Okay, so like this, like when I said I'm building like part of the gunship, so like here's part of the gunship door, one of the doors that I'm doing. So this is pretty much, it's pretty much the same exact design from the actual Republic gunship, the 2013 version. I just downscaled the door a ton. So I've been kind of doing that with a lot of them, is like looking at the design from the Lego gunship, downsizing it, and then altering the pieces to use pieces that I actually have. So like for instance, here's one of the doors that would be in the crashed gunship, so clones would be like taking cover behind it and stuff like that. So we'll see if I even finish it, because I'm a horrible, like when it comes to building like vehicles or ships, I'm not very good, so we'll see how far that adventure takes me, but I want to have it so I can have the gunship crash. Okay, here we go. Let's check the chat. Yes, indeed, good to be here. It is Southern Creator. Thanks for coming, my friend. Alternate Animations. Have you played Fallen Order? Oh yeah, dude, I got that. I feel like I got it pretty early in the when it came out, and played through it. I play through, like, it depends on the game, but I generally what happens is I'll start to play it, and if it's good, I'll just like finish it. Like I'll just play through and try to finish it really quick because it's awesome. Fallen Order was one of those games where I played through it fairly quick because I was loving it. There are some things that are not the best in it, like the puzzles. I hated the puzzles. I just want to slice stormtroopers, you know? I don't want to just come in and do all these puzzles. There was a lot of parkouring, like a ton of parkour, like having to climb and do all these different things, but the combat in the game was awesome, and I actually ended up enjoying the story of Fallen Order way more than I thought I would. So I loved the story. Cal was a really cool character. I thought the combat was great. The level designs were good, even though you can get lost at times. I got lost trying to get back to the Mantis. I'm so surprised that Lego has not made a Mantis Lego set, like their ship from Fallen Order. I feel like that is that is made to be a Lego set, that Mantis. And you can customize it in the game, so they'd probably just go with the base design. But that ship is such a cool design in the way it's kind of like, can turn, and like the landing gear and the wings. I feel like it'd be such a cool ship for Lego to make, and to have Cal, what was that guy's name? Grease, I think was his name. What was her? Seer, I think was her name. The other, I don't want to. I guess I shouldn't spoil it if you haven't played the game. But it'd be cool to include those characters, and then even maybe the Inquisitors or some Stormtroopers. But I'm surprised that it hasn't been a set. They must think that not enough people would buy it, or that not enough people have played the game. But it seemed to be a fairly popular game, and I'm excited for a sequel, whether that be a sequel to Cal's story, or if they go back in time and do like a High Republic or Old Republic Jedi Fallen Order game. Although it wouldn't be called Fallen Order, it'd be called like Jedi Old Republic, or like Jedi High Republic, like something like that. I would love. I'm waiting for the sequel, and it was horrible that they didn't announce anything at EA Play this year. EA's really been dropping the ball on Star Wars games, but in terms of the story game, I really did love Fallen Order. I think my favorite planet was Zepho. Zepho to me was like Star Wars mixed with the Star Wars like stormtroopers and Jedi and all these TIE fighters and ships mixed with Lord of the Rings like environment, with the mountains and the snow and the grass and the moss. I really loved the environment on Zepho, so that was like my favorite. Let's see, we got the banking plan will sign onto your completion of Muunilinst. I started reading, I thought it was the banking clan will sign your treaty, and then but I like it when people use a Star Wars quote, but they change the Star Wars quote to fit that situation. So I applaud you on your efforts, Southern Crater. Quite brilliant. I always mess up your name, so we're just going to go Van Vichlin. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Vetel Tuna. Hello there, my friend. Jedi or General Kenobi. The next comment says Fallen Order. From Brad Bricks here. Animation. Nice view into the middle of the Imperial area. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. I really, really wished the game was, instead of fighting stormtroopers, you were fighting Phase 2 clones. That's what I was under the impression that's what the game was going to be about, was you fighting Phase 2 clones, and you never did. And going into what you guys are saying here about the Order 66 flashback was great. I was just hoping you were actually going to be able to fight some clones. But I get it. If you fight stormtroopers, you're going to be able to sell to a wider audience. The general video game, I guess, if they were probably thinking that the general video game audience would like to fight against stormtroopers because they're more iconic, more marketable. But I think it would have been so much fun to fight against Phase 2 clone troopers post Order 66. Yep, alterations also saying the AT-AT mission with Saw Gerrera, that was also great. Vader's intro Southern, that was great. Unfortunately, it got spoiled for me, and this is my own damn fault. I had to look up some of the puzzles and how to do them, because I'm like, I'm not going to waste, I have no clue what I'm doing on these puzzles. I'm not going to wait forever. So then I looked up like how to solve this puzzle, and then like the first video that popped up for some reason was like the last level of the game, like not even anywhere near the last level of the game. So I saw Vader in the thumbnail, but I didn't know how he showed up. The way he showed up was pretty awesome. Yeah, Brad Bricks, you also had to look up videos of the puzzles. I did too, man. It was crazy. Yeah, alteration. There's been some really cool mocks of the Mantis. I just think it's prime for a Lego set. Hey, Michigan Bricks, what's up, my man? How's it going? How is it going, man? Brad Bricks wants more Inquisitor figures. Indeed, those would be cool. I'm not a huge fan of the Inquisitors in general, but I think their figures would be cool because their design is interesting. Everybody after the stream, go check out Michigan Bricks' new mock update for Caller. Go check that out, everybody. Hello to my northern compatriot. I love it. There you go. Panzer Shrek, what's up, man? How's it going? Kubrick Zepho mock. Yes, I did. I did see Kubrick's Zepho mock. It was really good. I'd sort of say I think Zepho is like such a cool thing to build and look at, just because it's like the mix of Star Wars with the Lord of the Rings environment, which I love. I think that's awesome. Yeah, Battlefront 3, nobody knows, man. Nobody knows what's going on for Battlefield or Battlefront 3. If I had to guess, it's in the early stages of development. Unless you're talking about the old Battlefront 3 that was supposed to come out before Disney bought Star Wars, and that kind of fell through. That old Battlefront game, the original Battlefront 3 that would have came out before Disney bought Star Wars, probably would have been the best Star Wars video game of all time, and it probably would have been my favorite video game of all time, just from some of the test footage where it was space to ground. It was the OG Battlefront 2 mechanics, and they did like space to ground and all this awesome stuff, but that kind of fell through, which sucks. But Brad Brick's excited for Battlefield 2042. Nice. Scott is too. Calendar's coming slowly along, but I'm excited. Nice, man. It's going to be cool. It's cool. Hey, Most Marvelous. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream, man. Yeah, Battlefield. I love Battlefield. The only thing that and this is kind of a picky thing on my part, but I'm not a huge fan of. We'll do a slight sidetrack, and we'll get back to building and other stuff. But in video games in general, I'm not a big fan of the whole kind of specialist thing, where you pick a specialist or an operator, but they all have the same skin. So like in the most recent Call of Duty, you would be fighting other people who had the same exact skin as you because they chose the same operator as you. And I just hate that. I like having two factions, like the old Call of Duty games where you'd fight two factions. And of course with Battlefield 4, like the NATO or USA versus Russia or USA versus China, like the actual like uniformed guys. I liked having the two factions, and in the new one, it doesn't really look like it looks like everybody has a different uniform, which I hate because I like that large scale uniform on uniform, faction versus faction. But I also realize this operator / specialist customizable character thing is like the future of games. I just like the immersion kind of like uniforms, like when the mass armies fighting each other, you can identify who's who. But the portal mode gets me excited because I actually can set up modes where it's just faction versus faction instead of like customizable characters running around all over the place. But I think the gameplay mechanics in the maps look really cool, so it's going to be fun, and I'm excited for the beta to try it out. But I'll be getting the game for sure. All right, Alteration Animations make Lego stop motions. Nice, huge collaboration. All right. Oh, you're doing the 2042 recreation. Nice, that is awesome, man. That is cool. I'll have to check it out after the stream. That's awesome. I was wondering when people would do that, so that's going to be cool. I've still got a certain video game trailer that I've been recreating for over a year now, and if I need to get back and do it because I have so much of it done. There's just a lot left to do, and I haven't gotten back to it yet, but I've got everything on my computer. I have a set I just took down, but I've got all the figures, and I've got about halfway through the project, maybe a little bit over halfway, and just like it kind of just curbed to a stop because it's so much work to stop motion and to recreate stuff in stop motion. It's really hard, so that's kind of just taking a slow movement for now, but I'll get back to it eventually. Let's see. Hey, no problem, Panzers. Thanks for just stopping by in general, man. I'm glad to have you for any amount of time. Just search up CA1 on YouTube. All right. Sounds good, man. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started on some building. I want to try a couple of different things. So I need to grab a couple pieces here. Grab a few different things. One second here, guys. Just going to grab. Essentially, I've still got that Project Nightfall build, my most recent one that I did like months ago. It's still partially up on one of my tables, and I've just been slowly taking the parts away from it, but I can't take apart the whole thing because I still haven't done the stop motion part for it yet. There's multiple scenes that take place on the landing pad. I've got some of them done. I have one more left to do, which is like Anakin walking through the pillars, but I keep needing pieces from the landing pad. So I keep like slowly taking it apart. So I need to stop being lazy, and I need to just get that stop motion done so I can tear apart the build and use the rest of the pieces because I'm starting to need them. So we're going to try some stuff with these kind of pieces where there's that little indent on the inside of them. I just want to kind of mess around and see what I can come up with and what effect it does when I combine these with sand green masonry brick, because I'm generally curious as I keep bumping my computer. Hey, Bacon Bricks, what's up, man? How's it going? Bacon, there you go. Hope you're having a good one, my dude. All right, let's see here. All right. Cool. Alrighty, let's start to get going here. Has anybody, I don't know if most of you guys might be in the US, but has anybody else gotten, have any of the summer sets been available for anybody yet? I'm just curious because I know they've been kind of showing up slowly throughout different places around the world. But still nothing in the US. I'm guessing August 1st, of course, is when they're dated to release. But for me, kind of where I remember that, like, even the summer sets last year and every year, they're really hard to get. Even if they're releasing August 1st, they tend to take a while before they show up. Till they show up around my general area. So probably won't be able to get them for a long time, which is unfortunate because it'd be nice to get them early just to do like I'm not going to do like a traditional review, but last year I got one of the 501st battle packs fairly early compared to everybody else because it was really hard to find them. So I was able to do this kind of interesting showcase video where I didn't actually sit there and talk about the set because everybody's seen a million of those by that time. So I kind of just sat there. I didn't sit there. I made a video where I did a bunch of cool cinematic slideshow kind of pictures and video, mostly video, and then set up some really cool blue and red lights in the background. I did some cool shots with that just to make it unique, and I was hoping to do those again this year with the newer sets, but the video just did decent, so I don't want to do those because they take a while unless I get the sets fairly early. So I'm hoping to get the sets as soon as possible, in particular the Mandalorian Starfighter, because I think those figures would look great with like a cinematic showcase where I'm kind of using the slider that I've got with my camera, sliding back and forth, pushing in and out, kind of racking focus, doing all these cool camera moves to show off like Gar Saxton and Bo-Katan. But I don't know if I'll get that set anytime soon. Just depends when it gets out. And as silly as it is, I want to get the Slave One just because I mentioned this a few streams ago. But after we found out that the name of the Slave One was changed to Boba Fett's Starship, I came up and wrote a kind of a funny sketch about it, about the name change. So I just sat down and thought of an idea and came up with this whole sketch about the Boba Fett name change. So that's the only reason why I want to get the new Slave One, just because I came up with a really dumb stop motion skit that I want to do that essentially is just kind of criticizing that change and making fun of it and highlighting some hypocrisy from a certain group. So okay, so we're just going to mess around here, and I've also realized I haven't positioned myself in the best way because I can't really see what I'm doing, so I'm going to move the camera. Camera slightly. There we go. You guys are probably going to end up seeing, let's see, double of me probably. Yeah, a little bit. Oh well. Alright, let's see. With the excellent minifig poses and finished buildings, the Muunilinst is now the ultimate power in the universe. See. Not yet, Panzer. I remember you mentioned it. I think you mentioned it last stream, and I said I would check them out, and I haven't yet, of course. It's always like, yeah, I'll do that, and then I just like, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to do that. something I'm trying to get better at is time management. And I need to write stuff down because I don't. A lot of the time I just be like, I'll remember that, and I don't. So my apologies. Scott Davis hasn't seen anywhere near you. Haven't seen any Somersets near. Hey, Tamaka Cotter, what's up, man? How you doing? Something about your Phase 1 Clone Trooper? Yeah, what's up, man? Gotta check some Walmarts and Targets near you. They usually get stuff a month late. That's same thing for me, man. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. But last year I was able to get the 501st set fairly early. I mean, it was past August 1st, but it was before the end of August I had got one. And I was like, this has never happened before. I know some people have got some. Okay. I mean, yeah, I hope so, man. I'm hoping it's weird because it's always U.S. It's like August 1st, and then everywhere else they're before August 1st sometimes, which is like, okay. I think this mock is going to push you to 4 to 5K subs. I hope, man. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. If anything, I just hope that when it's finished, that a lot of people are able to see it. Not just because like getting, not just necessarily views or like getting exposure. I guess just because when you spend so much time on a mock, it's nice to know that a lot of people saw it. So it kind of like, it's a silly thing, kind of an ego thing, but just like it's nice when you worked a long time on something and you immediately see that people have seen it, if that makes sense. Kind of that gratification, which is probably not a healthy thing, but nonetheless, it is nice to see. But in lockdowns, nothing new. Dang, man, that's unfortunate, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you push those pillars down? Oh, you know what? That's also annoyed me this whole time. But there's something, I don't know what it is. I think it's something with the table or the plates where it's just slightly like not able to connect fully. The other thing about these pillars is like they're very fragile, as you can see. But like they're also not very sturdy. So like anytime you move them, it's like because you can put Technic down the middle. I think it's supposed to make them stronger because they're very wobbly. So if you kind of adjust one end of it, the whole thing ends up moving and coming undone. But yes, I do realize that's probably a very triggering and annoying thing to not have it pressed down all the way. Go ahead and move some of these. We're just going to do this for a little while, see what it looks like. Who knows if I'll keep it or not. Probably not, but I just am curious. Got to get some ideas out there before I move on. What do we got down here? All right. OCD kicking in. I feel you, man. Don't worry. I feel you. I would get another Slave 1, but $50 Slave 1 is the only one I can really get. I'm kind of with you. I mean, my favorite, like the UCS Slave 1 was always one where I was like, I would love to get that. But of course, I mean, I just never got around to getting it. It's just too expensive. And I missed out on the 20th anniversary one. This one is reasonably priced. I'm not super excited about the size of how small it is, but I guess for the price you're paying, it's okay. But I mostly just want it because I had a cool stop motion skit to do with it. I probably wouldn't get it otherwise. I was thinking about getting it because I don't have a Slave 1. But then I saw how small it was. And I was like, wow, that is way, way smaller than I even thought it was going to be. So then I incorporated that into the sketch. So that's the only reason why I want to get it. Who knows if I'll ever do the sketch. But I don't know. Boba Fett figure is great, except for the obvious miscolorings of the sand green. The sand green with the dark green. Like, you printed the dark green on the torso. You can't do a new helmet. On the helmet, there's shades on the inside of the helmet that are dark green. So like you could have done the whole helmet dark green, but it seems like it was definitely we don't want to create a whole new helmet and a whole new jetpack in a different color because we already have these. It's just like if the helmet and the jetpack would have been the correct color, I think this set could have been I mean, that figure could have been like, it would have been incredible, but alas, we are here where LEGO doesn't want to put in what would seem like minimal effort to change the color of something, but oh well. Oh well. How many Phase 1 or Phase 2 clones do you have? Not a ton, man. I know people go crazy with the army building, but I've always only had enough, like, to just do the mock, if that makes sense. I've never been one to have, like, a like, absurd amount of clone troopers, so I've always just had a decent amount. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Probably, I mean, whenever we do these mocks, Paul and I usually combine our figures, which is why, and he's got a lot of clones, which is how we can fill up the mock. But again, I don't have a ton of, you know, of clone troops. I don't know the like the estimate, but I do like the most amount of troops, like a version of troops I have is the Kashyyyk Scout Troopers. I have a ton of those battle packs, so I have a lot of those troopers, but I've only got probably like, what, 12 or 14 Clone Wars Phase 1 clones, probably 7 or 8 of the realistic Phase 1, and then, what, probably 10-ish, maybe? I don't remember exactly, 8 or 10 of the old Phase 2 clones, so I really don't have a ton. I've got a decent amount of 212th, though. 212th, I've probably got around 20 and stuff like that, but I never would go crazy on the battle packs as much as I would have liked to. I was never able to go crazy on them. And now it's dang near impossible to collect any clone troopers. They're just too expensive. Bricklink prices have just gone up. Gone up way too much to collect clones anymore. Way too much. Which is unfortunate, because even just when I was getting clones for the Battle of Etain, which was Paul and I, my collab partner, our mock back in 2018, I was able to get a bunch of 212th and old Phase 2 clones, like, for fairly cheap. I remember the first Brickworld 2017, I went around to every vendor and got, like, you know, if they had any 212th troops, I kind of just grabbed them, and it wasn't super expensive. Nowadays, you're not going to find any 212th for anywhere near a good price. But so is the market for clone troopers. Let's see. Scroll up a little bit here. You already have the UCS Slave one. Yeah, you don't need to get the 50. If you have the UCS Slave one, you're good, man. The mock only gets 100, 200 views. You spend a lot of time and money on. It's a bit depressing. Yeah, a little bit, man. That I've had a lot of those in the past. I can tell you that. But it's even if it doesn't get a ton of views, it helps when there's a lot of comments and likes. But yeah, can I show all of the Phase 1 clone troopers in this mock? I'll have all of them in the mock for sure. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the rest of the clones, because I obviously don't have enough to cover the whole place. The realistic Phase 1 clones are absurdly expensive on Bricklink, so I can cross those off the list. I'm not going to be able to buy any of those in bulk. What I might end up doing, and what I've done for a few clones, is I've got all of my Phase 2, like the 2005 version Phase 2, or 2000, the speed of the 2009 or 10 Swamp Speeder. I essentially bought like a Clone Army Customs helmet, Phase 1 helmet, and put them on the body of some of my old clone troopers. And that's one way I can get a couple more clones, because I'm not going to be able to buy any more realistic Phase 1 clones, because they're way too expensive, and let alone to try to find any in bulk. So don't know what we're gonna do for those. We all want a feeling of validation for sure. Minifigs, I don't know, you guys want to suggest any minifigures we can toss on here? I'm open to suggestions. Any minifigures you guys want me to toss on the hat? Let's do it. Yeah, UCS gunship looks great. Awesome. I'm not going to use it in the mock. The gunship would be like as big as the mock. No, I'm just kidding. It would probably be as wide as the mock. Like, gunships, the UCS gunship's massive, but yeah, I don't have $350 to spend on a Lego set. Maybe somewhere down the line, I would love to have that UCS gunship, but rather use that $350 to buy like parts and stuff to make the buildings bigger. But let's see. Oh, how the turntables. Yes, Michael Scott. Great lad. Good lad, that Michael Scott. Excellent lad. Custom Pre-Vizsla, nice. You're going to be painting the armor real soon for Pre-Vizsla, nice. Pre-Vizsla is so cool. It's so awesome. Did you get the Phase 1 Captain Fordo and Phase 1 Lieutenant? I got those. So I just have the blue Clone Trooper, the blue Lieutenant. He's from a poly bag from 2013. And then I just bought the cloth from Clone Army Customs and put him on to make him the blue ARC Trooper from the show. But I know the blue Lieutenant came in a polybag in 2013, which is the one I have. I think another one came in a Hailfire set a couple years ago. That one has leg printing. The one I own does not have leg printing. The red Fordo that I'm using is the same thing. It's just a Lego Clone Trooper Captain from the 2013 gunship, and then I just put the waist cape and pauldron from Clone Army Customs. So they're not Clone Army Custom figures, they're just the official Lego figures with the cloth from Clone Army Customs. That was the cheap way to get it done. Brothers, what are we doing here? We came here to free Ryloth and it's free. One of the best scenes in Star Wars, I'll go out and say right now. Good old Hauser. When is Space Force going to go down? I don't know, man. Whenever the aliens show up, I suppose. Or whenever a different nation decides to go build a military base in space, I'm sure our Space Force will get into action. Let's see. How many LEGO Star Wars sets do you have behind you? A decent amount. They're all kind of older sets. The most recent set I have is probably like the most recent set is the 501st Battle Pack. So a lot of my sets are the older ones from the Clone Wars days and from the 2013 to 2016 era as well. So, but kind of stopped collecting sets just because I haven't been a fan of a lot of the sets and they've just become a little bit too expensive in my opinion. So haven't gotten a ton of the sets recently. I think the most recent set that was actually big was, you actually can see behind me. Where is it? There, the X-Wing from 2018. That was like the largest set I've gotten in a long time. I think Southern, the reason for the prices, I mean, in terms of Star Wars, I think it's the Clone Wars. I think Clone Wars was the reason, because right after Siege of Mandalore happened, every single Clone Trooper skyrocketed in price higher than I've ever seen before, ever on Bricklink. And I've been checking Bricklink for years, and those the highest it's ever been. As to pieces, I don't know. I haven't seen too bad in the pieces I normally get. I haven't checked for a while. They don't seem too bad, but in terms of figures and Star Wars Clone Troopers in particular, I really do think it's because of the Clone Wars Season 7. In particular, even it was all fine until Siege of Mandalore. Once Siege of Mandalore happened, the Clone Troopers just, because the 212th is featured in the Old Friends Not Forgotten episode, then obviously Rex is there, the 501st, so they all just went way up. So I think that's the reason for Clone Troopers. I also feel like just more people know about Bricklink now. I could be wrong in this assessment, but I just feel like Bricklink's more popular than it used to be. I just felt like there wasn't as much knowledge of Bricklink like years ago. It seems like now everybody knows what Bricklink is. I know even 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I was really getting a lot of Bricklink stuff, a lot of people didn't know what it was and didn't know how to use it, but I feel like it's kind of more of a mainstream thing now, so maybe that's why they're more expensive. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. It's I just want to get some realistic Phase 1 Clone Troopers for the mock. It's oh, you want those? $12, $14 a piece. What? Jedi Bob? Oh, dude, I wish. If I had a Jedi Bob, I'd put him on my hat. Commando Droid and ARF Trooper. We could do that. Captain Fordo, and let me see where he's at. Here he is. I have him by the partially constructed gunship. Which Captain Fordo, he doesn't have his head, so it's just the helmet. But yeah, this is just the Lego Captain, which is, I really love the red from the Lego Captain. He came in the gunship. And then I just gave him the waist cape and pauldron, and then Color Me Customs also has the correct pistols for Fordo. So this is my Fordo, even though it's just a Lego Captain. I think it works. So, but I've been trying to feature Fordo in the thumbnails. I think people like seeing Fordo in the thumbnails. I do too. Stashmo, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. All right, let's go ahead and grab. Did anybody else put any figure suggestions in? Most Marvelous, Commando Droid, and ARF Trooper. I can go do that right now. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Okay, let me go grab those. Let's see, Commando Droids. I had a Viral Blade. I don't know where it went, so there's that. Then ARF Trooper. I don't know which ARF Trooper we should put on the hat, because I've got the one from the Clone Trooper battle pack with like the Bomb Squad guys, and then I've got the we'll do both. Answered my own question. So let's go ahead and grab some of these guys. All right. Just as I thought. It's one of those new Commando droids. All right. I also got the Commando Droid Captain, I think, from the ATRT from 2013. Battle Pack ARF Trooper, and then this was the 2012 Battle Pack ARF Trooper that came with the ARF Trooper that came with the ARC Trooper, the other ARC Trooper, with the waist cape and pauldron. And this guy came in the same battle pack as these commandos, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get these commando droids up and running. And we'll go back to questions. I also love in the Ryloth episodes. Oh, look, hair's doing great, isn't it? The Ryloth episodes when Mace Windu is with those two ARF troopers, or the names like Boomer and Striker or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But they're like in the control room trying to turn on the bridge, and they're going like hand-to-hand combat with the commando droids. I love that stuff. So we'll do that right now. Our ARF troopers will be engaged in hand-to-hand combat with our commando droids here. And I still just wish you could pose battle droids better with their legs. You could do so many ideas with battle droids, but you just can't. Can't ever pose them. Okay, so we got some hand-to-hand combat. This ARF trooper is trying to tackle this commando droid, and then over here, this commando droid's gonna get punched, and the clone's probably gonna break his hand by trying to punch that commando droid. How many clone troopers are in this mock? I don't know, man. Right now, there's not a lot, because I don't have a lot. I've requisitioned all of my Clone Wars Phase 1 clones and put them on the mock, because I didn't have enough. So if you go back to episode 12 of the Muunilinst mock update series, I set up the whole mock with figures. So if you want to see the mock full of figures, I would go check out that episode. But I had to use a lot of the old Clone Wars clone troopers just because I didn't have enough of the realistic Phase 1 clones. So, 6, perfect. All right, let's see what this looks like. Supplies are running low, everybody. Masonry brick is running low. All right, what else do we got? You're working on a Ryloth mock? Nice, most marvelous. I would say you're going to use a trench. Look at, this is one of my favorite, I've always wanted to do a mock of this. The Supply Lines episode in Season 3 with Captain Keeley and General I'm Gonna Die, whatever his name is. With Captain Keeley, the opening of that episode, they're on like this massive battlefield, and there's like those mountains and trees that they're fighting in, and then there's also the trench. There's like really cool shot of clones in the trenches, like kind of fighting out. Use those as some inspiration because I've always loved those trenches with like the clone troopers on their heavy, like their gunner position, and then one of them's like on the ground and he kind of looks up and there's a super battle droid. Like I think that's such a cool action scene. So supply lines in season 3, I believe. Let's see, where'd you get the custom blasters for Fordo? Cloner Made Customs. I forget which ones they're called. I think they're called like the dual concept ones. Either that or they're called the Commando blasters. I think they've got pictures on there. You'll have to check. I don't remember exactly which one, but it was on Cloner Made Customs. So that's where that one was from. Stash Mo, yo, what's up, man? When's your next stream? So I can't do one next week because I'll be headed out for a vacation, so I don't think I'll be able to do one next week unless I do it like on Thursday. So I don't know about a live stream next week. It'd be the first time in, I don't know, months that I haven't done a live stream in a week. But when I return the next week, I should be able to do one on that Sunday. So we'll have to take 1 week off, but next week will be a mock update from Muunilinst, so we'll have something to watch and everything like that. Hey, thanks, man. Domesticated Dryo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Thanks, man. I put a lot of time into the thumbnails. That's like, I mean, in general, just setting up the figures takes forever for the intro and the outros. But I take a lot of time to set up the figures, and then also a long time to make sure I find the right camera angle, because thumbnails, it's always like, never judge a book by its cover, but in reality, a lot of people pick their books based on the aesthetic of the cover, as well as like whenever there's a YouTube video, it's like if the thumbnail's good, more people are going to click on it. So I really make sure to make the thumbnails look as good as I can. So got 2 World War II fakes, nice, and Lego French. All right, nice, French and a British, nice, man. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Captain Clone Trooper and Super Battle Droid. We could replace them up there in a little bit if we want to, for sure. Bomb Squad Battle Pack is awesome. It's very interesting about the Bomb Squad. I only have one of those battle packs, but it was a great battle pack with the Horn Company Trooper and the ARF Trooper, and then the 2 Bomb Squad, and the Speeder was great too. Almost got the very nice for the hat today. Yes, indeed, Scott. Love it, love it. Also got that Bomb Squad pack for a really good price, but someone bid it right after me and got, dang, that sucks, man. Yep, it is most marvelous. The clone on Christophsis. And he just gets hit right after that. I'm telling you, the Battle of Christophsis still holds up today. Grab some more pieces. A lot of people don't like the Clone Wars movie, and I guess that, I can see, maybe you don't like the actual movie itself. But the Battle of Christophsis it holds up, man. It's so awesome. Even if the animation isn't as good as like the later seasons, the actual combat of Christophsis is just awesome. Like the one clone trooper, he stands up, he's like, "You heard him, lads, let's go!" And his helmet flies off. Like, there's just so much good stuff in there. Cody goes hand-to-hand combat and just blasting all the droids and kicking them. He's awesome. Such a great opening to the movie. What's your favorite World War II weapon? Dang, dude, that's a great question. I've always been a fan. I mean, I guess the generic answer is going to be the M1 Grand, as people would say. But the M1 Grand for sure has always been my favorite. As the camera dies, great off the change battery. That one's always been my favorite. And of course, the pling sound when the clip ejects after it's out of ammo. It is called a clip because they actually use the clips. But anyway, yeah, probably the M1 Grand. If I'll go for each faction, M1 Grand for the Allies. For the Axis, I would go. I don't know. I do like the Kar 98, but MP40. Honestly, all the German weapons are like, I love MG42, but probably the, I don't know, the Kar 98. I just think it's classic and classic from a firearms historical standpoint. So, but probably the M1 Grand. That's got to be my favorite. All right, let's try to switch batteries now. The problem that happened last time was when I switched batteries, the camera didn't want to. My computer didn't want to pick up the camera on the sensor, so it wouldn't sense it when I tried to plug it back in. So we'll see if this works. But yeah, I mean that's a tough one. I don't know if I could really pick between World War II weapons. I just think they're all very interesting to study. But M1 to me always has been cool for the Allied side of things. try this. See if we're back up and running. But of course, the Germans, like, a little bit on the historical side, but the Germans, like, all of their weaponry was very, like, a lot of their stuff was very, very good, revolutionary for the time. Obviously with your MG42, well, the MG34 and the MG42, and then their tanks, of course, just everything very revolutionary for them. So, hey, it worked. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right. Very excited. Very excited. Okay. Let's see where we're at here. We'll scroll back up. Can't wait for all the Phase 1 clones to be outdated. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see if they have a new design anytime soon. That'd be nice, because if they're outdated, maybe they'll go down in price, and I can get some more for the mock. Main trench inspiration. All right, there you go. Most marvelous. I'm excited, man. That's gonna be a good mock. You got this. Knock it out of the park, dude. That's good. That's such a cool scene. How many 501st battle packs? You have 108. Wow, that is insanity, man. That's crazy awesome. You must have a ton of 501st troops. Well, I thought I had a lot with 4. I was like, hey, I've got 4. That's like, I don't buy that many Lego sets, so having 4 of the 501st battle pack to me was like, that's a big deal. And you just like 108. I'm like, okay. You just like, I just walked up. I was the clone trooper on Christophsis, like going in. I'm like, yeah, I got 4 battle packs. Then I punched the droid, and it was you, and you have 108. And then it's like, Love the cap. Yeah, it's a cool hat, man. Got it at Brick World 2017, so you can put stuff on it. Yeah, so that's where they all went. Yep, Ollie Star Wars guy. Got him. That is crazy. 108, that's amazing, man. Fake placement and rockwork are your favorite? Yeah, dude, it's always fun. Rockwork, I don't, like, in the moment, it's very tedious to me, and it's not my favorite, but once the rockwork's done and I take a step back, I'm like, there we go. That is cool. So it's very satisfying when it's done. While building it, I always get very frustrated with rockwork, just because I've built so many mountains for Brick World mocks that every time I get done with them, I'm like, all right, I don't want to do a mountain ever again. And then a year or two later, I do a mountain again. It's like, oh, nice. So, let's see. Go back up here. Is it going to be a vehicle in the mock? I don't think so. I've kind of mentioned this before. With most of the Lego sets, they're not scaled properly. The other reason is, like, if I were to put the ATTE in here, it is so big. Same with the Lego gunship. They're so big that the proportion and scale would be bumped off. So all these massive buildings that I built, like, you can look minifig scale, the buildings are fairly big. But if I were to put the Republic gunship next to this, the gunship would be bigger than the building, and that just doesn't really work scale-wise. So I try not to have a ton of Lego sets in my builds. Right now, I've got the Hellfire tank because I think that's a fairly good size. And I'll have a bunch of speeder bikes, but besides that, I'm still not really too sure. Oh, my chat just jumped up. Oh, thanks, Dryo, if I was saying that correct, Domesticated Dryo. That technique with that kind of figure posing, my collab partner Paul started doing that in 2018, I believe, on Etanes. He experimented with that technique. And then on the Siege of Mandalore mock, he kind of went all out on that. And then since that point in time, I've been trying to expand upon that and try to find different ways to set up the figures with the heads and with the arms and everything like that. So I'm glad you guys like it, because that's like the thing I spend the most time on, is trying to make sure the figures look really good. So because I talked about it before, but it just, when you see a great mock and the figures aren't good, or they're just not very dynamic, it takes away from the mock. And I've always said they complement each other. So a good mock becomes even better with good figures. And then a mock that might not be as good, but has excellent figures and posing in battles, elevates the mock. So they kind of go hand in hand with each other. So I would always say try to focus and put more time on setting up your figures if that's something you guys are interested in, because it adds a lot to your mock, and it makes it feel more realistic and lifelike. Because you don't want to have this awesome mock and then it kind of just be a bunch of figures that are set up straight. You know, it's just not very interesting. So that's why I spend so much time trying to get the thumbnails to look good. Because I want the first thing you guys see when you click on the video is an awesome thumbnail. Or like an awesome scene, you know, when I set up the video. Okay. I'm going to try to get all caught up for the chat here. Do you watch The Bad Batch? Yeah, we can get to that discussion in a little bit if you guys want. Hey, Tyler Courtney, what's up, my man? Jacob Moran, hey, what's up, dude? There we go. What is up? Welcome to the stream, guys. Journey to the dark side is complete. Oops. Let's see. 108. Yeah, everyone's going crazy about the 108. It's crazy. Giving him an R run for his money. It's crazy. Yeah, most marvelous. That's what I was when I saw the new Clone Commander with the leg printing. I was like, they really could, you know, release some new Phase 1 clones with leg printing, which they probably won't. But that would be cool. I'd love to see some new Phase 1 clones. But maybe that was just a special one-time thing with the UCS gunship. I'm not sure. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking at a few things, trying to see what we got here. Let's jump back in. I'm sorry if I'm missing. I'm trying to get caught back up on the chat, so I'm trying not to miss any. Do you have all the Ahsoka figures? No, man, I don't. I only have the, believe it or not, I only have the old Clone Wars version. I don't have any of the newer Ahsoka figures. Again, I really haven't got a bunch of sets kind of recently, so I only have the older Ahsoka figure. Although I'm hoping sometime maybe to get the newer Ahsoka, the Season 7 Clone Wars Episode 1, the Siege Mandalore ones, you know, either in the Duel of Mandalore set or in the AAT if that ever goes on sale, because I'm not going to pay $40 for that AAT. That AAT is not good. So... Oh, you're trying to get the clone. I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see how much that clone commander is going to go for on Bricklink. So if you do end up getting that clone, man, you got to let us know how much you got it for, because I'm genuinely curious. Yeah, Tyler, so I just was busy yesterday. I had some family stuff to attend to, so I wasn't able to do the streams. So I do apologize for having to change the time, but just been like, I'll have a stream scheduled, and then like a couple days or a day before, I'd be like, oh yeah, this got scheduled. I'm like, dang it. Or like I get called into work or something like that. So I apologize on having to keep changing the stream times. I know it was nice when it was just one set time. But yeah, hopefully we can get back soon. Next week I won't be able to stream. And then hopefully I'll be able to get back to it the week after. But let's see. Okay, I think we're caught up. If I missed any questions, you can just put them in the chat again, and I'll try to get to them. All right, let's see. Loki is so good. I'm hyped for season 2. Man, the Loki has been my favorite out of any of the Marvel shows so far, of the new Marvel shows. I was a big fan of the Netflix shows for Marvel. Like Daredevil was incredible. Season 3 of Daredevil was some of the best TV I've ever seen, in my opinion. Like writing, the writing on that show was some of the best I've ever seen. So I loved Daredevil, and then Punisher was also great. I'm very sad when those got canceled, but Loki was great. I loved Loki. Great show. Season 2 shall be glorious whenever it happens. Okay, you can see what I'm doing over here, where I'm kind of just having these placed in front, but I want to try something else here. That's a little more dynamic and a little more layered. So we're going to see what this does. The only problem is this design will require an absurd amount of pieces, so I don't know how well this is going to work out. We'll see. We shall see. You want Paul to come join the streams? He's always, I mean, we can, and I guess we did do a stream. I guess that was a long time ago. It's weird, the summer kind of flew by, but we generally have different schedules, and sometimes my streams have been a little impromptu, but I do hope to, dang it, it's off by one. I do hope to have Paul come over sometime to do the stream, but like I know he's out of town right now, I'm pretty sure, so. Let's see. I was thinking today, I was seeing everybody, everyone's at Brick Rodeo right now, and it's making me, and then of course Virginia is going to be next week for a lot of people. It's making me miss Chicago, Brick World Chicago quite dearly. It's making me miss Brick World. So, I'm very sad Brick World got canceled this year. All the other conventions are happening except for Brick World, which is very sad. I was thinking it would be kind of cool if, you know, I did next year when I go to do live streams or something from the convention center. I think that'd be exciting, you know, or like in the hotel room or something like that. Get some guests or something. I think that would be really fun. All right, so what I'm trying now is I've got a bunch of 1x1s, and then I've put tiles on the outside. These 1x2 tiles, and it's kind of hard to see from the camera. It's all the way back there, but they are offset by 1, so the tiles stick out just a little bit over those. So the problem I'm noticing is a lot of the Muunilinst buildings, since they are that 2D style animation, they're not super detailed. So a lot of them aren't very detailed in terms of like the side of the walls aren't very detailed. So I've had to take a lot of inspiration on like trying to make these very detailed and kind of doing it on my own, since the show doesn't have a lot of the actual details on them because it's just 2D animation. That's just what happens with 2D animation. So a lot of the buildings look very smooth. So like this building that I'm doing right now, it's based off some of those towers. The building is very smooth in nature, like from the screenshots. So now translating that into Lego form, trying to see if it looks good or if it makes it look too plain, even though it is smooth in the show. Because I do think I prefer these kind of weathered masonry type buildings, even though the show has a lot of smooth buildings. Sorry, I'm trying to find a brick separator. It's like I've got like a bajillion of them, but they're like never anywhere to be found when I'm needing it. So that's always good. What is your favorite Vietnam War era song? Oh goodness, I don't know, man. I'm not familiar with a ton. I mean, if I heard it, I'm sure I'd be familiar, but not one that I'm like not too super familiar with them, man. I know there's the one, The Times Are A-Changin'. That one's pretty good. All right. So we'll see how this goes. This building design. So I've got a lot of these 1x1. I've got a lot of these bricks. Just kind of 1x1s with studs on both sides, so I want to try to use them. That would be nice is if I grabbed some longer, if I got some different tiles that aren't 1x2s, if they're like 1x4 or 1x8s might be a little better. Let's see. When I see a show that I've been watching since it came on and it gets canceled, yeah, that's definitely sad, man. Trooper Gio, what's up, man? How's it going? When I showed my uncle Muunilinst part of Clone Wars, he reminded of deployment to Iraq. Oh, geez, due to the CQB nature of Muunilinst. Yeah, those streets, especially when they're going down this the ARC Troopers, Muunilinst 10 are going down the street and AAT just rolls around the corner. I think that's such a cool scene. Or even when their gunship gets shot down and they get ambushed from all sides, kind of like Black Hawk Down. So it's definitely some interesting stuff. That's interesting. Well, whenever you get a chance, man, tell your uncle thank you for his service, man. Let's see. What are your favorite TV shows? Star Wars: Clone Wars. And Star Wars: Clone Wars 2003. But besides those, I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies. Not as much TV. Breaking Bad was good. I watched Breaking Bad. That was a great show. Writing on that show was really great. Mando, of course. But yeah, I don't watch a ton of TV. I'm trying to really wrap my head around any ones that stuck out. I mean, Breaking Bad obviously just was kind of like, whoa. I watched Walking Dead back in the day, which was good, but I've always been more of a movie guy instead of a TV guy. But we'll say Breaking Bad, I guess. Oh, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I forgot about that. I watched that last year for the first time. That was awesome. That was really cool. Right afterwards, I was looking up like how much the figures cost, because Lego did make, I think, 2 or 3 Avatar: The Last Airbender sets based off the animated show. So, when do I expect to have this finished? That's a great question, man, because if you would have asked me 2 days ago, I would have said probably sometime in the fall. In fact, I'm pretty sure I probably said that on the last live stream. I was like, yeah, I'll get it done in the fall. But there have been some recent developments that have made me consider a different solution. So, a different solution that would include, how many, 7? Because I guess I talked about in a couple other streams about how I wanted to, when this was done, take apart the whole thing and then just do this same size, but make it all buildings and actually have the gunship crash to scale and the giant tower with the cannon in the back. I quickly realized that was going to be a little ambitious, especially with how busy I'm going to be next year. So I'm now kind of throwing around the idea of possibly just keeping everything I've got on here. Once I finish this part of the mock, do kind of like I don't know, I don't want to call it a mid-season thing because apparently a lot of people are starting to do that mid-season type thing. But maybe like a part 1 finale where it's like everything that's been built on this mock is done. And this isn't a final decision, but I've been considering for next year's Brick World is keeping this up so I can bring it, but also building a whole another section. So like half of what the mock is right now, adding that size onto the end of this and doing the giant tower with a bunch more buildings. So I've been considering just adding on to this mock by like half a table and then bringing that to Brick World for next year. So then for next year, I only am working on half of a table instead of a full table because I'm going to be very busy next year with life stuff in general and a few other things that I'll be building to Brick World. But still kind of throwing things around. But in terms of this right here, probably sometime in the fall will be my answer for now. But have been considering expanding it a little bit so I can include the tower with the cannon and stuff, because that needs to be big, and I don't have enough room on the mock as it is to do that. Yeah, sand green is such a great color, man. It's so cool. It's one of my favorite Lego elements for sure. Bad Batch, yeah, let's get into that here. One second here. Let's see these. Lego store open 30 minutes from here. Would you get a job there? I don't know. I've got a couple other jobs I'm working for right now. I'm studying video production in school, so I've been kind of searching for jobs related to that. But I wouldn't mind working at a Lego store. I think it'd be cool just because I feel like I could, if somebody came in with questions, I could help them quite a bit on what Lego sets to buy, or if they're going to the Pick a Brick wall, I feel like I could help them out about like, ask them what they're building, what kind of pieces they might want to get and stuff like that. And I would package the Pick a Brick cups so they get the best and most bricks and parts for that money. So, plus I'm pretty sure you get a discount as a LEGO employee for the Pick-a-Brick wall, which that would be huge. That would be the reason right there to, to do it. Okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. We'll do that. Hey, Cookie Crumbs Animation, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. I Love Lucy, I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. I haven't seen that. Three Stooges, I feel like I've seen the movie. If I have, it would have been a while ago. Let's see. Oh, Tombstone, nice, man. Nice. I've been recently getting into a lot of Japanese samurai movies, so that's what I've been doing is watching a ton of samurai movies. So that's my new obsession, is samurai movies. Also, of course, Akira Kurosawa, who's probably the most famous Japanese like samurai director here in like the United States and other parts of the world. He a lot of his movies inspired Star Wars, so I would look into that if you're interested, because it is, after I watched some of Akira Kurosawa's movies, and you can definitely tell the parallels from his movies to what George did in Star Wars from a technical aspect, and I guess a story perspective as well. But let's see. Is this from the old Clone Wars series? Yeah, it is, man. Yep, it's from the older 2003 Clone Wars with the older animation, the 2D animation that was on Cartoon Network, for sure, man. It's definitely, that's what it's based off of. 50% off, that's what I thought. I was like, that sounds nice for the Pick-a-Brick. Okay, so, do you have Luminar Unduli? I only have the one from the Geonosian canon. I have that Luminar Unduli. Do I like Rebels? Not really. I know a lot of people like Rebels, but I've never been a fan of Rebels. I always had some disdain in my heart because Rebels was the show that canceled Clone Wars. Clone Wars got canceled and it got replaced with Rebels, so I had very high hopes for Rebels, and it was nothing like Clone Wars and wasn't nearly as good in my opinion. So there's a couple of great episodes, like the Ahsoka vs. Vader episodes. I think those are spectacular, but the rest of the show to me just wasn't not my favorite. I can see why people like it because I know it introduced a lot of really cool lore things to the Star Wars universe, but just personally for me it wasn't my favorite, which is a great segue into Bad Batch, which I actually was planning on coming on here and doing a rant, but now I've kind of become very tired and from talking so much, so I probably won't do a rant. But yeah, I just am not. Bad Batch has these awesome episodes, and then it just is going super fast, and then just slams on the brakes, and we get an episode like we did the other day, where they're doing yet another side mission that is just. I don't want to get mad about it because I know the finale is probably going to be awesome. I'm sure the finale for Bad Batch is going to be really cool. So I don't want to get too worked up on the last episode because I have a feeling the next 3 are going to be great. But yeah, I've just been disappointed with I don't know about the show overall being disappointed in it. I've been disappointed in there's so many interesting avenues that they could go with the galaxy after Order 66, and they've just touched the surface of it. They start to touch the surface of it, and then we do a side mission. It's like, hey, we're going to the Separatist-controlled world. There could be some really cool political things we can get into here with the Separatists. You know, the Empire going in and trying to suppress the Separatist parliament, and they don't want them to rise up again and start like kind of a new rebellion. There could so many political things they could get into, and I don't mean like, I mean just like Star Wars politics stuff that they won't get into. They start to scratch the surface, and then next thing you know, we're on a side mission finding a Rancor. Or we're on a side mission stealing stuff from some other rival gang dude and going on an abandoned mine shaft and get attacked by bugs. Like all these weird things that like they start to touch these interesting subjects, and then we just get another side mission episode, which maybe people like the side mission episodes But I just feel like there's so many more interesting things they could cover with, the clones and their transition and the Empire and also the Camino, like everything on Camino, and I'm sure they'll get to it later on. But I just feel like there's a lot of... I just don't care about the side missions at all. And I've also been horribly upset, and maybe you guys have saw my rant probably, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Been horribly upset with how they've treated Echo in the show. They treat Echo like he's not a character. He's there for jokes, and he's pretty much useless in the show. And they neglect the most important character moment for Echo with Fives, and they throw it away with one line. They pretty much act like Echo does not have a backstory, is how they act like. Even though out of all the Bad Batch, Echo has the most deep and tragic and horrific backstory out of like any of them, and just nothing with that at all. So they've turned my boy Echo into nothing. He's got no development. He's just a mere shadow of himself in terms of a character, which sucks. But I have a very strong feeling that the next 3 episodes are going to be really good, and that'll be very refreshing. I just am upset about all the side missions. I just think there's so many deep, interesting story elements that they could do, but instead they do the side missions. And I'm not even talking about the overall plot, because I know they're going to get to more of the stuff with Crosshair and everything like that. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking just galaxy-wide stuff that they're not covering. Stuff like that. So, I don't know. Last like when they're rescuing, Cham Syndulla and Hauser's moment, it's like, this is incredible stuff. Hauser's speech, like, that's what I want to see. Next mission, we're in a mine shaft with Sid with her walking stick, like, getting attacked by bugs. It's like, what are we doing? I don't know. There's been great episodes, and there's been just mind-boggling, like, what is going on? Especially for the amount of money they're spending. I mean, the animation is spectacular in all these episodes, and all that awesome animation is spent on running through a mine shaft, trying to get away and trying to be quiet to not wake up bugs. And of course, somebody drops a flashlight. It's like, oh yeah, of course you dropped the flashlight. I didn't see that coming from a mile away. I don't know, man. But like the first episode, I loved the first episode of Bad Batch. It was incredible. Next 2 were okay. Cut Lawquane was cool. We got really dark stuff with Crosshair, with like him, taking out all those just civilians, and then just they kind of left that open. It's like, yeah, he did that bad thing, and then we're just not going to do that or cover that again. And then a bunch of side missions. The Rex episode, where they completely ignored Echo and what could have been one of the best character moments in all of Star Wars. The one where they escape from Crosshair was really fun, where they're kind of running through the ship trying to evade Crosshair. The Ryloth episode, the first one was okay. The second one was great, with Hauser, of course. But I just feel like they've got all this awesome stuff. Cad Bane comes in. It's like, wow, this is awesome. And then just hits a wall. And just we go on a side mission. It's like, you don't have to do the side missions. I don't know when did this idea of like having these side missions have to, like, what is going on with this? And I get they have to get food, they have to, live. It's like, I don't know why there's a need to keep doing these random missions. I don't know. And maybe they'll come up again in the plot later, but I don't see how them rescuing a Rancor. I don't know. Don't know. Last Samurai is the best samurai movie. It's a great samurai movie, but maybe it's the best U.S.-made samurai movie. But the movies that are made in Japan and like some of the Kurosawa films, I would say are better. But I do love Last Samurai. Don't get me wrong, I love that movie. I think it's the time period it covers, with I think the Meijing Restoration, where they're kind of accepting all these Western ways. And I really do love kind of the whole movie. But I don't think it's as good as like a Seven Samurai or a movie called 13 Assassins, which is awesome as well. It's a more modern samurai film, but I still really like it. Any Rebels from the TV show? I do not. I don't think I have any of the main Rebel characters. I've got a lot of the Rebel Stormtroopers. Got a lot of those guys. Like I've got that battle pack and what was it, the ATDP? Got that, but I don't have any of the Rebels characters. Just not any. None of the characters got me interested. I was never interested in any of those characters personally. I thought Kanan was the best. Let's see. Ooh, Southern's starting to hate on the Clone Wars faces. Breaking my heart, man. I'm just kidding. I know people. I know they're not the best. They're just nostalgic and classic to me. You know, the weird Clone Wars faces. That it's what it is. You know, they're not the best, but to me they're nostalgic a little bit. Tech replaced Echo. Yeah, I agree, man. Biggest problem with the community since season 5 Clone Wars has been unneeded hatred towards Fox. Very first live stream we did, very first Muunilinst live stream we did, I got into, somebody in the chat brought up Fox, and we had like a 2-hour deep discussion on Commander Fox and his mindset and philosophy and what was going on with him and Palpatine and him and his men, and what happened when he shot 5. So we came to the ultimate conclusion that Fox does not deserve all of the hate that he gets. He was in the wrong still, but we looked at it, we kind of took his perspective and combined it with like what Palpatine was telling Fox, and the fact that Fox walked in this warehouse and he was told that there's a very dangerous clone that from Fox's perspective tried to attack the Chancellor. Now he has Anakin and Rex captured. So, you know, he made a judgment. It's like, yeah, this guy's already tried to assassinate the Chancellor, allegedly, even though Fox thinks he did. He's now got 2 more high-ranking Republic, you know, military. We got Captain Rex, and we've got a General Anakin Skywalker, and he's got them captured. He might kill them, so then he shoots. And then, of course, we kind of talked about how Commander Fox kind of took that burden of having to kill one of his own brothers so that none of his men would have to have that burden of killing one of their own brothers on them. So we went into a bunch of that deep stuff, which was interesting. Rebels Ahsoka? No, man, I don't, because I know how that figure, talk about expensive figures, the Rebels Ahsoka figure has shot up in price beyond, it's just crazy. Crosshair versus Sev? Sev. I would say Sev, but I'm sure that Bad Batch would say Crosshair just because Crosshair was engineered to be a perfect shot or whatever. But Sev all the way, man. Sev, we got Sev over dollar store Dengar over here. We've got Sev all day long. Death Blooms, you remember that stream, man? Yeah, that was an awesome stream. CTW Comics, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Rev, you made a custom Fordo and Obi-Wan from 2003 Clone Wars. Nice, dude. That's awesome. The 2003 designs are just those of legend. You know. They are legendary. So let's see. Should we line up with that? Or try that. Let's see. Pretty sure a former U.S. Marine was in the chat. Yeah, you're right. He was. We did have a U.S. former military. I don't remember if he was Marine or Navy or Army. I don't remember, but he was. His perspective was Fox was following orders, and he kind of brought his perspective from the military. So that was very interesting. 3D Bricks, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you've had a good week. Fox is an expensive figure. Oh, you're right, because there's only the Fox that came with the Spider Walker. That's right. Paul's got that Commander Fox. I know Paul's got that one somewhere in his collection. Very cool figure. Barasafis, I've got the let's see, what Barasafis do I have? The one that came in the 2000, the most recent, the Clone Battle Pack with Ki-Adi-Mundi, and then I've got the what set was it? The Geonosian like Sonic cannon that came with like Geonosian Zombie, and it came with Commander Gree, I think, and Barris. So, hey, see you later, Panzer Shrek. Thanks for stopping by, man. Heading out to church? Yeah, yeah. You as well, man. Hope you have a good one. I had church service this morning, so hope you have a good church service, man, and hope you have a good rest of your weekend. So may the force be with you, my friend. Have a good one. Yes, one of the most important channel debates was Fox. You're right about that, man. We'll say it's a pillar of the channel. It's a foundation of the live streams, is the debate of Commander Fox. And what really kind of was important about that debate was it also kind of set forward the standard of the live streams, where we get into topics and actually debate some interesting and potentially deep things. So that's great. It is a pillar of the channel, live streams, for sure. All right, sorry guys, I'm just kind of messing around with this to see. I haven't been able to get a good look at it yet. Trying to see what's going to look best here. Oh goodness. The only problem that I'm with this design that I'm doing right now, which I do like the way it looks, it's just the amount of pieces this is going to take is insane. Might need to change up the design just because pieces this is going to take up are absurdly a lot. Absurdly a lot? I don't know if that's a word. Okay. Let's see. Instagram, yeah, sure, man. It's the same as my, same as the YouTube on here is the Instagram. I don't post as much as I used to on there, but fairly active on there. All right. Need to get some water on these streams. I keep talking so much. Let's see. How does it feel to chew 5 gum? I imagine it gives you the confidence to... I don't know if that's a good analogy. I was going to say it gives you the confidence to charge a Jedi who's turned to the dark side, who has 4 arms and 2 double-bladed lightsabers. It gives you the confidence to charge right into him. But I tend to think that clone trooper just wanted he just kind of was done with everything. That's what I figured. But maybe it gives you the confidence from, we'll go back to the Christophsis clone, to punch a droid in the face with your just flesh hand. That's what it gives you the confidence to do. Great question, Clone Motion Studios. Great question. LEGO needs to start making more Phase 2 clone troopers with the new design. Well, what's interesting about that is the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga trailer that came out, who knows how long ago that was now. They showed the 50. They had a couple plane troopers with Palpatine on the Mustafar cutscene, and they were the same design as the 501st figures, just stripped of the blue markings and just plain. So I hope we see that plane trooper design show up again in a LEGO set, or even better, a battle pack. I would love a battle pack with just 4 plane troopers, but who knows if that'll ever happen. But they've got the design. It's in the LEGO Star Wars game, the new one, that who knows when that's going to come out, but it's in the game. We saw it in the trailer, and I think it'd be a really cool design for just if they actually made it physically. So, you own that Fox Most Marvelous? It's cool, man. It's great. Why didn't Anakin use the Force to disarm 5s? I don't think people are seeing the bigger picture here. Anakin could have diffused the situation. I don't know, man. I think it's here's the easy answer for you. Plot. It's just like unless for some reason Anakin can't use the Force. Maybe Anakin can't use the Force when he's in the ray shield. That would be that's what I would imagine for the in-universe answer. Was that whenever they get into those ray shields, they can't. They must not be able to use the Force, because anytime a Jedi gets captured, they can never really use the Force. So. Hey, thank you, CTW Comics. Thanks for stopping by, man. May the Force be with you. Hope you have a good dinner. Need some water? Yeah, a water bottle. I do, man. Problem is I get a water bottle, and then I did it a couple times, and I just completely forgot to even take a drink. Serve at least 50K? Oh, that's very generous, man. Thank you. And thanks for that comment. That means a lot, man. Although 50K might be hard to do live streams because the chat would kind of be flying by, but I do enjoy just kind of having just being able to talk with you guys in here without the chat kind of flying all over the place. But I guess if the chat is flying all over the place, that's a good problem to have. But I appreciate that comment, man. That means a lot. Firmly believed Christoph's clone survived. Oh, okay. Oh, he later would be the 212 clone that punched the droid. So yeah, maybe he learned to punch the droid in the gut for some reason instead of like the face or whatever. I don't remember where he punched on Christophsis, but you guys need to pause if you haven't done this before. Paul and I did this, and this was spectacular. We did Revenge of the Sith, and we pretty much would pause it and go slow motion, frame by frame, for the Battle of Utapau. And that's where we discover the punching the gut thing. There's a clone who has his rifle, and he's running, and as he's running by a droid, he one-arms his rifle and smacks it like it smacks the droid like a baseball bat, with a one-arm baseball bat with his rifle. There's so many cool elements in there. Same with the Battle of Christophsis. Or not Christophsis, Coruscant. The Battle of Coruscant, you can look in the background and see all these cool engagements with ships and everything. So if you have time, sometime just hit pause and look at all the different background stuff on Revenge of the Sith, because it's incredible. Who's the ARF trooper or captain who got killed by Savage? I believe it was Captain Trauma. Whoa. Captain Trauma. Hey, can I get a water bottle over here? This is my assistant. No, I don't have an assistant. Commander Trauma, because he's like... Savage is slicing him up, and then he kind of turns around and he's like, "Get him!" And they all charge right at him. A great tactic. If a guy's got an axe and you have a blaster, charge right at him, apparently. Hey, see you later, 3D Bricks. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. Have fun building that mock, dude. May the Force be with you. If you could make a Star Wars arc, how many episodes would it be? And from my imagination. So this is it's kind of inspired from the Umbara arc, but I would love to see the 2/12 perspective from Umbara. I would do an 8-episode arc about the 2/12 with Obi-Wan, Boyle, Waxer, and I would also include Wooly from season 1, the Ryloth episodes. I would follow them on when they land and they try to fight towards the capital, because we never see him. We just always hear about how bad and in dire of a situation they're in. And the final episode would be them trying to take the capital. And the capital would be full of not just the Umbarans, but also droids. So the clones would have to fight the Umbarans and the droids. I think that would be really cool. How do you make the droid backpack from Lego Star Wars? I don't know, man. I have to look at that again. I know in the past, what we've done is gotten a 1x2. And so we've gotten a tan 1x2. And then we've put an antenna piece on the back and stuck that on the back of the droid. So kind of like this, and then we just put an antenna. But I don't remember off the top of my head what the Lego Star Wars game one looks like. I should. I'm a horrible Star Wars fan for not knowing. Trauma was an idiot who thinks rushing a man with the axe is a good idea. I don't, man. That's what I'm saying. But then again, it's epic that he tried to rush him. Because when Savage is slicing all of them up and you get the little pieces of their armor shattering and flying all over the place, it is pretty cool. Yeah, how did he become like a captain? I don't know, man. It's like he's in officer school. He's like, all right, here's your next question on the test. If a man has a melee weapon and you have a blaster, what do? He just writes down, charge! And then whoever was checking that paper, whichever Kaminoan was like checking their grades, they just kind of like fell asleep and forgot to check traumas, and he just passed it. Oh, you're right, Cries. Yes, Cries from Seleucumai. He would be there too. We've picked up the scent. I think that's what Obi-Wan says. It's such a weird line, but it's so funny. So yeah, it'd be Umbara, and you'd follow Cody, Boyle, Waxer, and Cries, and Wooly would be there too. So I'd probably have Obi-Wan with Cody and Wooly from the first season of the Ryloth episode. They'd be one attack force, and we'd probably have Waxer and Boyle leading their own attack force, and then maybe Cries would have his own, or maybe he'd join with Waxer and Boyle. But I've always been fascinated, especially in, the third episode of the Umbaran arc, where they're talking about the long-range missiles, and you see one off in the distance where it flies up like this and then it lands and explodes. I always imagined Cody in the 212 with Obi-Wan. Imagine they're just like, they're pinned down on the road, or they're in the kind of the forest. Obi-Wan's deflecting blasters. Cody's kind of like shooting, pinned down. They're taking casualties, and one of those big missiles just comes and just explodes right next to them, and just like, and they lose a bunch of men. I just feel like the combat would be so much more intense than what the 501st went through. Imagine what the 501st went through. Let's times that by like 4. or 5, and that's what if I was to do an arc that would follow them through the Umbaran arc, they would take a lot of casualties, and then they'd finally take Umbara, but it would take a long time to take the capital because they'd fight Umbarans and droids. I always thought that'd be cool. And then also Waxer, he perishes in the middle, so we get to see Boyle and him deal with Waxer being dead, and Boyle was like, maybe Boyle was still at base when Waxer went out on patrol, and then he kind of feels that regret of not going with Boyle. And then if Boyle would feel that regret for not going with Waxer, and then like if Boyle ever found out about Krell, you know, like how angry he would be. So, hey Zimna K, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Madzer53. So I spoke a little bit at the beginning of the stream. I have started to do the crashed gunship, but I don't want to do a custom version, and I don't want to use the Lego version. Like, I don't want to use the Lego version, it's too big, and I don't want to buy somebody else's instructions. So I'm creating my own design, but I'm not building the full gunship. I'm just building parts of it and having it crashed. So like, I think I showed this earlier in the stream. Like, here's one of the sliding doors, and I've also got kind of the cockpit area, and I've started to build like the turrets with the lime green thing in front of the gunship. So I'm just going to be building these little parts and having them crashed into the ground. So that way I'm not building the whole gunship, because I'm terrible at building vehicles and ships and all sorts of stuff like that. Dumbest clone is the 212th who ran into Krell. I feel like that clone was just ready to be done. Or he felt like he was going to get some revenge for his fallen brothers. And get revenge on Krell, but not a smart idea to charge. Or maybe he thought by charging Krell he would distract Krell, and then maybe somebody else would get to shoot him. But I don't think so. Crazy Brick, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, General Kenobi. Yeah, it should be cool. Hopefully, I can kind of. I'm not good at building ships, but hopefully I can at least resemble a gunship. Which so far it's looking like a gunship still, so that's good. And kind of have the destroyed parts crashed and have the clones taking cover behind different parts of it. And I've got this droid right here. I've had this kind of thing assembled for a while, but I've kind of got this. It's supposed to be like the sniper. It's like a sniper, but it shoots full auto, so I call it like the sniper machine gun that they shoot at the clones. I've got one up here, so I've put him, if you can see up here on the top, so he'll be shooting down at the clones like the scene in the show. So that's what we've got going on down there. All right, we'll probably go for a little bit longer here, guys, and then we'll kind of end out the stream so everyone can get back to their Sunday evenings. Let's see, I'll probably make some dinner, and then we'll see. I've got I need to record a couple segments here for a Muunilinst for stuff that I did today. Let's see. I really like Trauma. He's brave but foolish, my old friend. Gunships are too expensive. Yeah, they're crazy, man. Oh, Commander Trauma, not Captain Trauma, right? Of course. Sorry. So, my apologies. Can you put the antennas on the droid backpack? Yeah, so it would, let's see if I can find one. So it would look like this, essentially. Now this is going to look weird because it's the wrong color, but I don't know if they make dark orange antennas. But essentially, oops. I think in the past we've done, yeah, it kind of look something like this, which looks a little funky because it's the wrong color. But on plain battle droids, it looks okay. So if you just have plain normal battle droids, it looks okay. That's the other thing, is I would love to have this mock just feature the orange droids, dark orange, but you can hardly find them on Bricklink. You can hardly find them on Bricklink, and if you can, they're also super expensive. And I tried to buy just the body parts, and you can find the head and you can find the arms in great quantities. You can't find the legs anywhere. I think it's the legs. You can't find the legs anywhere on Bricklink. It's pretty crazy. So I'll probably have to end up using just normal plain battle droids, which is unfortunate, but That's all right. Unless Lego for the, let's see, next year. So if they were to do a next year, 2022 in the winter, if they were to do some sort of anniversary for Attack of the Clones, because Attack of the Clones came out in 2002, so we have an anniversary coming up for Attack of the Clones. So if they were to do special sets, which I don't think they will, but if they did like a battle droid battle pack with the dark orange droids, and then they did just a plain, like if they did a battle pack just featuring realistic Phase 1, but maybe a new design, like leg design or something, like the printed leg design, or maybe just a different torso design, to celebrate, 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. That would be really cool, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will. One story I'd like to see is the Clone Marines went through on Umbara. So were the Clone Marines on Umbara? I didn't know that. That would be cool, though. That would be really cool. I've always loved the Galactic Marines. I thought they've been really cool. Camera's dope. Awesome, thanks, man. Yeah. Right now, I actually had to borrow my sister's camera because my camera that I normally use, the capture card. So I normally have to use a capture card when I'm live streaming, but my capture card broke, so I can't use the capture card. What's cool about my sister's camera is it's a Canon camera, and Canon came out with a new software update where you can plug your camera directly into your computer without a capture card. So that's what I've been using recently. But until I can get a new capture card, this is the camera I normally use for all my videos. This is a Lumix Panasonic GH5. This is what I use for all my short films and videography work. Is this little Panasonic. It's a great camera. I've got like a 24mm lens, and then this is what I use for my video jobs, videography jobs. I use it a couple times for Lego videos, so like anytime I do a wide shot of the entire mock, where I'm talking for a long amount of time, I use this. It's like a gimbal stabilizer. I got a really good deal on it from Black Friday last year, I believe. I got a really good deal on it, so I use that for like some of the Muunilinst mock updates when I have like a really wide shot and I'm kind of just like talking. I have that to stabilize it. It works really well. So, think Lego will make a Phase 2 Commander Cody soon? Nah, I don't think he will, man. I don't think they will. So you think they will because Gar Saxon got an exclusive head mold, so I can see one for clones? That, I mean, hey, if we got a Cody and he had this scar on his head, that would be awesome. I don't know if they will. Who knows? I've kind of lost a little bit of hope at this point for a Phase 2 Cody. But get down, we're taking rocket fire. Going to watch Bad Batch after this. I usually watch it by now, but haven't had any chance. Yeah, you're not missing too much on this last episode, Scott. You're not missing a whole lot. I'll be honest with you right there. Yeah, Tamika Cotter, if you just, my Instagram is the same username as my YouTube on here. So yeah, if any of you guys want to send me a message on Instagram, feel free. Ooh, Most Marvelous, you're holding like gold right now. Dark Orange and Nougat also has gotten very expensive because people have been building a lot of Geonosis mocks. So right now that's a good color to have. So the Clone Trooper heads, it's just balance. So you just balance it, which takes a really long time to do. So my intros and outros, I spend a lot of time setting up the figures for the intros and the outros to make sure there's something fun for you guys to look at when I intro the videos and when I outro the videos. So, oh, I see what you mean, Trooper. You're talking about the just a Republic Marine in general, not the Galactic Marines. I got you. Umbara is just fascinating. It's just fascinating with all the different, platoons and just the combat on Umbara, at least from the 501st perspective, was really unique and interesting to fight against something that's not droids. To fight against actual other living people. How many stormtroopers do I have? I actually have a decent amount of stormtroopers. I don't know an exact number off the top of my head, but I probably have like 3 of the battle packs, the Rebel battle packs from 2015, the Rebel stormtroopers, and then I've got a bunch of these stormtroopers from the Battlefront battle packs from, what was that, 2016, I believe. These are like my favorite stormtroopers with all the marks. So I've got a good amount of these. So probably a squad's worth or two. Favorite type of clone? I've always loved the Kashyyyk Scout Trooper loadout, the 41st Trooper that you see in Episode 3. Those were always my favorite. But recently they were always my favorite growing up, and they still are one of my favorites, but I would say within the past 4 years, 212 has become my favorite clone trooper design. The 442nd, of course, is great as well, just the lime green design, but the same pattern as the 212th. But 212th and the 41st are my favorite two clone designs. Alright guys, I think we're going to close it out here pretty soon. That's pretty discouraging. Yeah, the episode, not my favorite. It's another side mission, and it just, especially after last week where we had this awesome rescue episode on Ryloth, and we set up Hauser, and we set up all this interesting stuff, and it's like we were going super fast, and then someone slammed on the brakes, and now we're on another side mission on Ord Mantell. So, yeah. On eBay, 50 pieces of 2x4s, it's $10. Not bad. I don't know. I mean, it's not a lot, but $10 is still, yeah. I think it's just Dark Orange has become pretty popular. Are you going to get more Brick Arms customs? Yeah, so probably however many Clone Troopers will be in the mock, we'll definitely probably have the same amount of blasters. I love the Brick Arms blasters. They're so good. The rifles in particular, I think are really, really good. Their blasters are nice, but I think the blaster rifles are their best. Brick Arms' best Star Wars stuff is, like, I really love their these rifles. Because the blasters are cool. The only thing I don't like about the blasters is, okay, this will be the last thing I show you guys before we close out here. The blasters and other ones, like I know the Little Arm Shop and maybe Clone Army Customs doesn't have this problem, but the Brick Arms ones do, is it's kind of hard to have them grip it with both hands because the rifle is, or the blaster is, like not as wide as their length of their arms, so it's kind of hard to have them grip it with two hands, just because the blasters are a little smaller. So if they were a little larger, I think the blasters would also be great because I think the detail on the Brick Arms ones are spectacular. So the rifle's great, the blaster's great. I just wish it was a little bit bigger so that the clones figures could grab it with like both of their hands, but that's all right. Not a big deal. All right, let's see here. Put the noti on for next stream. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. All right, Most Marvelous. All right, we'll answer Most Marvelous's question here, and then we'll go ahead and close her out. Let's see. Want to get World War II guns? So World War II guns, Brick Arms. And the cool thing about Brick Arms is they have resellers, a lot of stores across the U.S. So more than likely you'll be able to find one that's a lot closer to you because he sells them through these different shops. So you can check these different shops, and there's probably going to be one close to you. Brick Arms, get those. And then for figures, there's no easy way around it. All of the figures are very expensive because they're all custom. So like Minifig Co. has some of the best printing. Valiant Bricks has some of the best printing, but they're going to be expensive figures. The other United Bricks is also a great one. Their figures are a little cheaper, and you could buy just the torsos. So I bought a bunch of, I don't know if they sell them anymore, but a bunch of just German torsos, and then I already had a bunch of dark gray legs. I just combined them, so I only had to bind the torso, and I didn't have to bind the legs. But I think most sites sell them as full figures now, which is really expensive. The other option, you can get water slide decals. So I've done water slide decals on my US figs and my Russian figures. Most Marvelous, if you want to bring this up on next stream, I'll show you them. But if you see my most recent World War II mock, most of the Russian figures in that mock were water slide decals. Lastly, and the cheapest option is going to be use those Resistance torsos. The Resistance Trooper Battle Pack that came out use those torsos. They're like light tan, dark tan. They've got like the belt buckles. They work great for any faction, really. All of your allied troops, and you can use those torsos. Let's see, there's a lot of good Rebels torsos you can use as well. So if you don't want to buy custom figures, what I would recommend is trying to find Star Wars torsos that work for that. But otherwise, look at United Bricks. I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to just sell the torsos. Same with, I almost forgot, Citizen Brick. I think sells just the torsos by themselves. They also have a great print. You can't go wrong with any of them. You just might have to spend some money because they do charge quite a lot for their figures, but the quality is really good. So hopefully that answered your question. Look at the Minbon Troopers. Their Lego helmet, extra bit of, yep, they do look like, I noticed a lot of their gear did look like World War II German helmets and armor. And it's cool because the Minbon has the trenches too. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it. I want to thank all you guys. I'm going to pick this up first. I want to thank all you guys for joining, even though I had to change the time of the stream. Hope you guys did enjoy. And I'm also always very happy that you guys are able to jump into the stream and talk in the chat, because the stream wouldn't work without you guys talking in the chat. So I appreciate the discussion with everybody. I don't build very much, but honestly, I enjoy just sitting down and reading the chat and talking to you guys more than trying to build and talk at the same time. So thank you guys so much for all of that. Stay tuned for next week. I'll have a Muunilinst mock update video. I will not be able to do a live stream next week, so my apologies. Won't be able to do a live stream next week. I won't be available, so no live stream next week, but I'll be back the week after that. But Muunilinst mock update next weekend, and then probably the week after that, I think we'll have another Lego look back episode with the AAT. So thank you guys so much for joining, and that's about it. So hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Hopefully we get a good Bad Batch episode next week. All right, guys, and as always, leave feedback in the comment section below. Hope you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you always. All right, see you guys later. Force be with you, my friends. Have a good rest of your week. Force be with you.